Yeah, but after the last week of the season, the NFL has what they call Black Monday, and I went through the list, and some of the guys I think um, not definitely get fired, but are definitely under consideration. Um, Matt Rule in Carolina, uh, Matt Nagy in Chicago, Vic Fangio in Denver, Cully in Houston, uh, Joe Judge in New York, Mike Zimmer in Minnesota, and of course Jacksonville and Vegas. I believe will be looking for new head coaches as well. Guys, anybody I missed or anybody that shouldn't be on that list?
No, I mean, Bears already came out and said that Nagy's already done after the end of the year, so he's already pretty much done. You figure Vegas and Jaguars already need a coach to begin with. They already said that obviously with everyone. So you figure already got three coaches on Monday already with new jobs in the making. So I think it's like every other year you probably have that 6 to 8 coaches fired on either Sunday night already or Monday afternoon.
Yeah. Jeremy, what are your thoughts on possible candidates to be fired?
I don't know if I have any additional ones. I think that to me, Nagy was, and I was thinking it from the beginning of the year, it was a hot seat year. As soon as they started losing, I knew I didn't even know if he was going to survive the season, to be honest.
Right.
And then, so I know he's gone. I believe Rule will be fired. The only thing that would protect him is he's only 2 years into a 7-year contract.
Right.
So I don't know how rich that contract is or what happens, but I think a lot of owners have eaten money over coaches before because it doesn't affect salary cap or anything like that. So,
Right.
he should be gone. I mean, it's a disaster in Carolina. It's like, and they made a big mistake, and so those are the two that I really see as I think the one that you mentioned that I think has the best chance of keeping his job, that might have a shot at keeping his job unless something's come out otherwise. I've been paying attention is Joe Judge, because I think a lot of the vile and anger in that fan base and everything, and just it's been about Gettleman. He's the one that people really have been just calling for his head for so long, and I think it's his ends. The problem is for Joe Judge. His problem is, do they do the same mistake the Jets make? Like you fire a GM, and now you're going to go out and try to find a GM and say, "Here's your coach." It's not a good way to go and look and get a top candidate for GM, right? So they might have to fire Joe Judge just because they're going to fire the GM, but I don't think that's what the organization really wants to do. But I think they might have to.
Yeah.
But I think, you know what I mean? Because I honestly don't put him in the category of Nagy and Matt Rule. I don't. I think that Joe Judge has been dealt a very, very bad deck, very bad hand. I mean, and he might even be a guy that gets another chance.
And even when they hired him, he kind of came out of nowhere. Like he wasn't on anybody's radar, and then the Giants are hiring him all of a sudden. So it's kind of weird.
Yeah, and at that time, the old Cowboys coach was still available too.
Well, and he became the Giants' offensive coordinator, didn't he?
And they fired him.
Yeah.
But
that was a ridiculous hire. I mean, in the first place.
So. Now, my question is, do we see one of those rare things happen where you see a head coach get traded for a player, draft picks, anything like that? Could it be one of those years that you see someone that's under contract like Rule in Carolina for 7 years? You see him maybe like, Chicago saying, hey, well, can we work something out maybe to get him or something? Someone that's on long term, young, because
or maybe he would work.
Because I feel like the Carolina coach would work good in Chicago with Justin Fields because he played with a mobile quarterback in college at Baylor and all that. So it's like, could you see maybe something like that even happening up until the draft? Maybe like not a coach getting fired, but traded. I think the last coach to get traded was Bill Belichick in the 80s or something, or 90s.
Yeah, when the Jets traded him to New England. I could be wrong on that, but yeah, I think Belichick was the last coach to be traded.
Yeah.
What do you think about Chicago going after Joe Brady?
Well, he was the offensive coordinator that got fired in Carolina.
Well, like a lot of people feel that Matt Rule scapegoated him, and
Oh.
that Rule was the problem. That Joe Brady is the quarterback and the offensive genius, and that he's really the one. Not that he has done anything to deserve that. From the beginning, I said, "Are you kidding me?" Because college football for 1 year with a great college quarterback doesn't prove anything. The same way Adam Gase, because he was with Peyton Manning, that doesn't prove anything. Peyton Manning is a coach on the field playing the game, right? So, but I'm not suggesting they should go after Brady. I'm just wondering if they're a team that bought into the hype of Joe Brady.
Right. Maybe.
Yeah. And another question comes in too. It's like, do you think teams are going to start going with young coaches, kind of like Arizona, Eagles, and even with Green Bay? 3 young coaches all being successful in the first few years of their career and building their team around what they're used to within college. Because now with college, you're watching college football, 9 out of 10 teams that you watch are mobile quarterbacks, rolling around pockets, RPOs, that sort of thing. So now that the offense is going towards that sort of thing, do we see more younger coaches coming from college and getting more chances in the NFL, and hopefully not being another Urban Meyer and like ruining that chance for them? So I wonder if you'll start seeing more of that coming about, where young coaches come in to the NFL after only coaching maybe a year or 2 in college and building that trust on coaching like that.
Yeah, agreed. And I look, Matt Rule's contract in Carolina was for 7 years, $62 million. So, I mean, he'll still have 5 years left, making plenty of money. So even if he's not coaching, he's going to be fine.
Yeah, and if not, he'll just go back to college.
Hey, Payo Time says, "Hey, Sean, John, and Jeremy, just stopping by while I'm at work. Thanks for stopping by. I invited him on tonight, but he said he was working. So he said he might be able to join on Sunday before